Bemidji area elementary students gathered along the banks of the Clearwater River just northwest of Bemidji for their annual Trout Release Day. Our reporter Sydney Dick has more about what the students learned for this week's Northwoods Experience.
Students have spent the past several months raising trout in their classrooms, and then they started their day at the river by releasing them into the wild. Then they spent the rest of their time learning about different aspects of the river and how the ecosystems work.
It was really fun, and they got to be about like this size.
We're learning about wildlife, specifically water life and like different nymphs and stuff. I really like seeing all the wildlife and little guys in the water.
They're testing the water for macroinvertebrates. If they fall in a certain category, it tells if the water is clean or not for the trout to survive. They're learning about the current and how it flows down the river, and then they're looking at some of the insects that have been found within the river already.
With the Clearwater River now being home to 270 new trout, the students ran tests to make sure the water and surrounding vegetation create a suitable environment for the fish to survive.
So that people know not to pollute the waters and stuff like that.
It's like a 197-mile river, but only like 4 miles are cold enough for trout. And they have had some carryover, so they know that these trout have gotten big enough to make it through the winter and be here in the spring and hopefully reproduce.
The Trout in the Classroom movement is sponsored by Trout Unlimited, where the goal is to get students learning outside the classroom just as much as it is raising and releasing the trout.
Teaching them about the great outdoors is starting to be almost a lost art, so we need to ensure that kids are still understanding we got to take care of Mother Earth and what it does for us.
There's a lot of wildlife out there that needs to be respected and so they can live.
We need to be stewards for our earth, and so the only way to do that is to start with the young and to teach them that trout need this habitat. They need the cold water, they need protection, and the only way we do that is by protecting our earth.
Reporting from Pinewood for this week's Northwoods Experience, I'm Sydney Dick, Lakeland News.
The Headwaters chapter of Trout Unlimited that sponsors the Bemidji releases was the first place that the Trout in the Classroom took first place in state of Minnesota. Now, over the past few decades, the movement has spread nationwide to include more than 100,000 elementary and middle school students.